Hello my lovely friends, my name is Rue. How do you do? Welcome back to my channel. I'm doing an autism chat today, and this one is going to be a little different and I'm nervous about it. So if you're new to my channel, my name's Rue. I was diagnosed with autism in October of 2021. And sometimes I do autism chatty videos on my channel, and I normally tap on something because it's ASMR. But today I wanted to talk about like verbal processing, speech, talking, communication, that sort of thing. And I was like inspired to do this video by a channel that was recommended on my YouTube page called, I'm trying to be very chill. It's called I Am Mind Blind. And in this video she was talking about speech, autistic speech, how we talk, how we process, that sort of thing. And in the video she didn't edit out like the pauses and stuff to try and like show what autistic speech can look like. And so I'm gonna try to do that with this video. I'm so nervous. The other thing is I didn't plan. I didn't write a script. So this is all gonna be me saying what's up here. You know, I've thought about it a little bit, but I normally script these videos and I have a script in front of me that I'm reading, because otherwise it'll just be a jumbled mess. And I often take a lot of breaks to think about what I'm gonna say. So I will try to include the pauses, and if I pause, I'll try to do some tapping to make it less weird. I'm gonna edit out like any bad sounds, or like if I have to cough or whatever, or anything that just doesn't sound good. I also like, TMI, I burp a lot when I film, so those will be edited out as well. Anyways, I really liked her video, and I liked, you know, that she didn't edit out her like natural way of speaking, because I do think that is important. And I try to do that sort of on my channel, in like the sense that like I will leave like me stumbling over words or whatever. I will leave them in my video sometimes just to be like, this is normal. Let's normalize this. I'm really stressed right now. Because when I film these sort of videos that are like more serious, I do get a little stressed, and that usually involves me like heavy breathing and sighing a lot. And so I know I'm like being super aware of like, I'm trying to speak more quickly. Anyways, I need to get into the video topic. Okay, so we're talking about verbal processing, speech, communication, how I talk in a conversation. Yeah, and I didn't script it because I wanted it to be more natural, like more what it would be like if I was actually talking to you, just like off the cuff. I have thought about it though, like I have been thinking about it, so like there is some scripting in my brain. But so something that's common in autistic people is slower processing speeds, which often means, like for me, I get left behind in conversations, or I just don't have time to process what is being said to me, which I think is where the scripting comes in for me, is like, you know, I didn't really process what they said. So here, let me give you this line that I just give people. But that was like one of the things that was interesting to me when I got my autism assessment like form back. Sorry, I'm like refocusing the camera just to make sure I'm in focus. But yeah, so one of the things that she sort of pointed out was that I have a slower than average verbal processing. I can't think of the word. Maybe it's just verbal processing. And that kind of surprised me, but like it made sense. But I think you want to think that you're good at something that everyone else is good at, but you know you're not. And it just like, it made a lot of sense to me. See, I'm like sighing. Okay. But on the flip side, I do have a higher than average nonverbal processing, which means I'm very good at like solving hands-on problems, like seeing patterns, like things that aren't really based in words. I'm good at that. Not good at the verbal, wordy things, which she said is also common for autistics. We're just like good problem solvers, in the sense like we see patterns and we're good at seeing patterns. I already said that. Like finding the best way to do something. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? But so I'm good at this, and I knew I was good at that. I'm good at things that are, what's the word? Like hands-on things. I'm good at hands-on things. Things that don't involve talking. Good at those. But yeah, not good at processing speech. And that I think is common for autistic people. I'm really sorry. I don't know if this video is gonna be very good, but that's the point, right? Okay. So we tend to need more time to process information, which is one reason why I like written communication, written directions, because I think I process that better. And also I think when like someone is communicating via like email or text, there isn't this like instantaneous response needed, so I can sit there and think about what it says and how I need to respond. But in day-to-day conversation with people, you don't have that. You have to respond. There's like a normal time length that you're supposed to respond within. And if you don't, it's like you're seen as not intelligent. But processing speed does not have anything to do with intelligence. It just means that your brain needs more time to process the information, which just isn't given to people in our like society, Like I think if people take time to like think and respond, it's like feels awkward or weird or rude, or I don't know. There just isn't, like, that isn't given space in society. And so I think I filled the space, or I try to compensate for that with masking and scripting. And so I'm not necessarily saying what I would say if I had time to think about it. I'm just trying to get out words as quickly as possible, so I'm not seen as weird or whatever. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was like mutism, I guess. The inability to speak, because obviously there's nonverbal autistics, and I can't claim to know what their internal experience is because I'm obviously verbal. But the thing I have experienced is this lack of ability to talk when I'm in like stressful situations. And I'll give you an example. So okay, I had a job where I tried really hard to make it work, to fit in, to be like, I wanted this job to work out, you know, and I was nice to everyone. I always tried to like ask how people were, and have the chit chat you're supposed to have or whatever. But that obviously wasn't enough for some people. And I do, when I'm at work, I do prefer to focus on my work. And I really liked the aspect of that job where I could do that. Because we were allowed to we were allowed to wear headphones and listen to stuff. So I loved this. Like, I often just like went through a bunch of podcasts and worked, and I was like really good, really efficient. I really liked it because it made the time go by fast. But there was like this one person who always treated me kind of weird, and I never really understood it because like I was always nice to them, I thought, and I don't know, like I tried to be nice to everyone, and I thought I did an okay job, but they would always like, I don't know, just like act really weird with me, like almost like they were making fun of me, and I didn't know why, and so I just sort of acted like it wasn't happening. But anyways, one night I was like talking to one of her friends, just like a nice little conversation, and she comes up and she's like saying like, why are you talking to me? Like, she's saying like, I don't talk to anyone, and like all this stuff, like really loudly, and it was a really small room. And I remember just like, I actually don't remember very well this circumstance because maybe I was so stressed. But I do remember sitting there just like blankly staring at my computer and just like, I guess, like being in a fight or flight sort of state. And I my brain just stopped working and I just couldn't, there were no words. Like I don't think I said anything. I just sat there and it was like waiting for the situation to go away. And I don't think I fully processed what had happened until the next day. And I remember I kind of like broke down and I was like, I think someone bullied me. Anyways, we're not, this isn't about like bullying, but yeah, so like my brain just sort of shut off and I like couldn't talk. I mean, I think probably if I made myself, I probably could, but like everything was shut off. Like I just couldn't, I couldn't make words come out. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Like it was just gone. And like I said, I don't even really remember like what happened, like how that situation diffused, what happened after it. I really don't remember. But yeah, that's just like one example of a time where I remember the words, they're gone. And it's not the only time that's happened. It's like, you know, it's normally when I'm in a stressful situation or there's a lot of stimuli or whatever. So like, I think they call it selective mutism, but I'm not like 100% sure on the terminology. And also, I just want to be clear, like, I am not very educated on this topic specifically. I haven't done a lot of research. I don't know why our processing speed is lower, generally. And it's something I'd like to look into more. But, like, I saw this video, and I was like, that's actually a really interesting topic to talk about. And something that I have experience with. So, I wanted to talk about it on my channel and make a unscripted video where I like don't edit out pauses, and here we are. But it is something that's really interesting to me because I do think, sorry, there was a motorcycle. I do think that I'm often perceived as less intelligent because of my verbal processing and my lack of ability to communicate in a like neurotypical way. And I think that's probably a common experience. And I think it's also common for people to think that nonverbal autistics are unintelligent, which is not, like, the ability to speak does not equate to intelligence. And there is a, you know, with autism, there is a comorbidity to have an intellectual disability. So, like, there are intellectually disabled autistics. But being nonverbal does not mean that you are not intelligent. And I think that is something that is unfairly put on them. People think if you can't speak or you can't speak well, you are not smart, which just isn't true. And, you know, I've like seen stories of nonverbal autistics finally being given like an AAC device, like a way to communicate. And once they were able to figure it out, you know, like they were able to talk about their experiences, like of people thinking, like, for example, they didn't deserve an education because they would never amount to anything, and just things like that. People think you can't talk, therefore you're incapable, or you're unintelligent, or whatever. Like, it's just what most humans assume. And I don't know why we have been, like, programmed to think that. Because, I mean, there probably was a time where I would have thought that, when I was not educated on it. And, like, it's just... like, it's just like my brain isn't very good at verbal processing, verbal communication. But it is good. But it is good at other things. It is really good at other things. Maybe better than other people. So, I guess it's just like, it's not the typical way of being. So people think, well, they're less than. I don't know. I don't know. I hope this is making sense. But yeah, it's been my experience that people will think less of me, or think I'm not capable, or that I'm unintelligent, simply because I can't very well have a normal conversation, a fluent conversation, maybe that's the word, fluent verbal conversation, in a way that is seen as normal. And there's just not a lot of space for people to take time in conversations to process the words and to get out a something, to get out what they want to say, if they had the time to if they had the appropriate time to process it, what they would say. I don't feel like that made a lot of sense, but that's okay. So yeah, that is something that I personally struggle with. I think, I don't think about it a lot, but it is a contributing factor to a lot of the things that affect me, like social anxiety disorder, and masking, and scripting, and not being able to work, because unfortunately I don't feel like there's a lot of room for people like me who don't process verbal information very well, or need time to think about things. Because I think there might be a lawnmower outside. It's not super loud though. I thought it was a plane. But anyways, I think I was saying, if you give me the appropriate amount of time to, time and space to think thoroughly about something, I feel like I come up with very good solutions, very good thoughts. But I just don't feel like there's space for that in the way the world is. As an example, I feel like in workspaces, when you have meetings, you're expected to be able to contribute immediately, but that's not how I work. I need to be given the information, and I need to look at it, process it alone, come up with solutions on my own, and then I can contribute. And I don't think, if you went to a meeting and you were expected to contribute ideas, I'm often I feel like I'm often looked down upon because I just can't do that. I've never been one to participate in those sorts of things. One, social anxiety. Two, I can't think in those situations. Like, it's not a situation that is conducive of good thought for me, because there's just too much happening. And like, I don't feel like there's a space for that in the world. Like, the ideal working situation for me, if I was working with other people, is to give me the information, let me look at it alone, let me think about it alone, let me come up with something alone, and then I can give you my ideas. I can give you my solutions. But I can't work in environments where there's lots of talking. I can't work with other people. I just can't. Like, it's just not an environment conducive of good thought for me, because it's just probably too much stimuli. And you know, yeah, that's just like probably part of why I felt like I needed to mask, because I wasn't able to come up with the correct words that I would want to use, because I wasn't given the time and space to do that. So I wrote scripts that I recited and mimicked people and whatever, you know. Like, if you just reflect what someone else is giving you, I feel like people like that. So, like, that's what I would do, you know? Because I'm in a normal situation, I feel like there isn't space to take the time to process and say words that would actually be what I would want to say. There's an airplane. But like, that's why I like to write things down, I think, because then I know everything I want to say is there, and I can like edit it and like make sure it's exactly what I want to say. Because I think the other thing is like actually having time to process and think about what you want to say is different than actually saying it, because I do feel like the speaking part is also hard. Like, just physically getting the words out. And that's why I will always, if there is a way that I can use messaging or email or texting, that is my go-to. Because that's just the best way for me to say all the things that I want to say in the way that I want to say them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. This is going to be the most jumbled mess of a video. But I guess that's the point, because that's just how my brain works. And like, I'm also a little stressed. And like, I probably, like, this isn't 100% maybe accurate, because I am trying to like get words out quickly, because it's a YouTube video and people don't like pauses, and I don't know, but I thought it would be a fun experiment, because I liked the video that I mentioned prior. I liked that she did that, and I do think we should normalize different ways of talking, speaking, processing. And again, that's why I will sometimes leave in when I like fumble over words or speak gibberish, because sometimes I feel like there's so much that wants to come out and it's just like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, take a step back. Chill out. I do that all the time. Like sometimes I'll be like talking to my fiance and I'll be like really excited about something and there'll be like multiple things happening up here and it'll just come out like blah blah blah. And I'm like, take a moment. But I just like throw my pillow, let bro talk. It's called the pineapple grade. But anyways, I just wanted you guys to let you is acceptance because it's also wow, I can't talk. Okay. So yeah. I know as soon as I turn the camera off, I'm gonna be like, you should have talked about this. Why didn't you talk about this? This is why I script my videos. I don't feel like my thoughts are very, like, verbal thoughts are very organized up here in a way that I can communicate efficiently. I need to do more thought and research on this, and so maybe I will revisit it one day. And I'm also curious to hear your thoughts. Because, like, this is something that happens to me, but I just haven't put a lot of thought into it. I guess because other things I struggle with are more pressing. But I do kind of want to learn more about it. Like, why are we this way? Why is this common? What is the solution in society? Like, how do we make society slow down? I don't know. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna end the video. I don't know if I appropriately covered the topic. And I will be editing out certain bits like noises and, you know, whatever. So if you see edits, that's why. But I'm gonna keep in any pauses or any moments I'm talking. Those are staying in. But I will edit out like the bad sounds. So yeah, this has been an experiment. Let me know what you think. Oh my gosh, I did want to talk about some other stuff, but I feel like it will make the video too long. I wanted to talk about how I'm like such a quiet person, and I've always been very quiet as a child, and like I feel like that has something to do with this. Just like being very muted and quiet. Because I do think it's because it's harder to speak. I just didn't. Yeah, anyways. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. Maybe I'll actually script it, who knows. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Please let me know your thoughts. I don't know if this video is very good, but maybe that's the point. Okay. Anyways. Okay. The endings of videos are always so difficult for me, in the same way that ending conversations are difficult for me, because I'm like, how do you say goodbye? Okay, anyways, how many times can I say anyways? Okay, thanks for hanging out, you guys. And I'll see you in my next video. Does that sound good? Okay? I will script the next one. Don't you worry. Alright, goodbye guys. I love you. If you watch this whole video, you are a champ. Amazing. Comment below if you made it to the end. Like, let me know. I'm curious. Okay.